A company doesn't make money when you sign up for their free trial. They make it when you forget you did. The practice emerged quietly, no single inventor. But by the 1990s, when broadband made digital subscriptions viable, the architecture was already in place. Free trial plus mandatory credit card. It worked because it solved a real problem for companies: how to convert curiosity into recurring revenue without the customer feeling deceived at the moment of sign-up. The psychology rests on a simple asymmetry. You remember the moment you entered your card number, but you don't remember the date the trial ends. The company does. They've automated it. That gap between your memory and their system is where the revenue lies. Consider what happens when you provide a credit card for free trial. You're not just accessing content, you're enrolling in a contract. The terms are written, you agreed to them. But the crucial detail is buried in paragraph 7 or 12 of a terms of service document you didn't read. Most people don't. The Federal Trade Commission began tracking complaints about negative option billing in the early 2000s. That's the technical term, negative option. It means the company charges you unless you take action to stop it. The burden of cancellation rests with you, not with them. Here's what the companies know that you might not. Between 40 and 50% of people who sign up for free trials never actually cancel. They forget, they lose track of the date, they move, change email providers, or simply deprioritize it. The trial converts to a paid subscription in the background. The companies also know that cancellation is deliberately difficult. You can't cancel the way you signed up. You signed up in 30 seconds. Cancellation requires finding a settings page or calling a number or sending an email. Some companies don't list a cancellation method at all. They want friction. Why does a company demand a credit card upfront for something free? The answer isn't security, it's psychological commitment. When you've entered your payment information, you've crossed a threshold. You're no longer a casual browser. You're a customer with skin in the game, even if that game is free. Behavioral economists call this the endowment effect. Once you've given something, in this case, your financial information, you're more likely to use what you've enrolled in, simply because you've invested in it. The company leverages your own psychology against you. The timing of the charge matters too. Most free trials last 14 or 30 days. That's not arbitrary. It's long enough for you to use the service and forget when it started. It's short enough that the charge might blend into a busy month of other transactions. You might not notice it at all. In 2023, the FTC filed a rule specifically targeting negative option billing. Companies would now be required to obtain affirmative consent before charging. They'd have to provide a simple, easy cancellation mechanism. The rule didn't ban free trials, it made the exit visible. But enforcement is slow. Many companies still bury cancellation links. Many still don't make consent affirmative. The rule exists on paper. Compliance varies widely. The cat-and-mouse game continues. The economics of free trials depend entirely on this mechanism. Customers who forget. If everyone canceled, the model collapses. The free trial only works as a revenue tool because it converts forgetfulness into income. You might think the credit card requirement protects the company from fraud. That's true to a degree, but the primary function is psychological. It's a commitment device. It primes you to use the service. It makes cancellation feel like a loss. The companies also benefit from what's called the sunk cost fallacy. Once you've been charged, you're more likely to use the service to justify the cost. You feel you've already paid. You might as well get your money's worth. The charge creates its own justification. What's remarkable is how transparent this system is. The terms exist. The mechanics are visible, yet the business model persists because it exploits not deception but ordinary human forgetfulness and inertia. You're not being lied to, you're being predictable. The system works because it's legal, because cancellation is technically possible even if difficult, because you did agree even if you didn't read the agreement. The architecture is built on your own cognitive limitations, not on fraud. Understanding this mechanism doesn't change the law, but it does change how you interact with free trials. You know now that the credit card requirement serves a psychological function. You know that the date matters more than the service quality. You know that forgetting is the business model. The question isn't whether free trials are fair, it's whether you're aware of the mechanism. Once you understand that the company profits from your forgetfulness, not from the service itself, you can make a deliberate choice. That awareness is the only real protection. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe for a new investigation into consumer economics every week, where the real story lives in the fine print. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.